What is up, guys? Basic Battles here today, and I'm here to talk about more UFC. We just had a pay-per-view a few hours ago. It just ended for me. Tom Aspinall versus Gane ended in a no contest due to an eye poke. Some say it was intentional, some say it was accidental. I'm not the one to judge or decide that, but it was very bad, and it did end the fight. So, what was that all about? What do we do next? And how do you really assess that fight that didn't even go around? Well, me personally, it definitely didn't go the way I expected it to. Or, well, it did if Cyril was going to win, The narrative around this for me was if Cyril could somehow stuff the takedowns, stay off of his back, I think he has a good chance on the feet, which is what we were looking at for a little while there. Tom had some good moments on the feet. He landed a couple jabs, some good kicks. But Cyril, he busted Tom's face open with a couple jabs, with a good right hand here and there. I mean, he landed some good kicks of his own. So it was pretty even on the feet. I think Cyril sort of kind of edged it there in the first round. But again, it was only 4 minutes. We don't know anything. He definitely landed the more damaging shots just based off of Tom's face. But then Cyril decided to grip Tom's head like a bowling ball. Double eye poked. Tom couldn't see out of his right eye, I think, and then ended the fight right there and then. Dana White stated that there will be a rematch eventually, hopefully soon, so we can get this heavyweight division moving. But then again, that's also what I'm here to talk about today. Where is this heavyweight division going? What direction is it moving? Because we also had a number one contender fight on the same card between Alexander Volkov and Jailton Almeida. And it was not a good fight. It was not a good fight. Alexander Volkov won a split decision. Some people agree and disagree with the decision. Personally, it was a really bad fight. Yeah, that's my personal. But no, I think it was a good decision, honestly. Volkov landed more damaging shots. Damage over control. Everyone knows. Everyone should know, at least. That's how you should score fights. But even then, Volkov's damaging shots weren't much to speak of anyways. It was just way more than Almeida was doing, which was just mindless control. Nothing there. No real submission attempts is what he's usually known for. No real ground and pound. Nothing really to speak of, honestly. And that's the thing. Jailton Almeida is really the only new contender we have in the heavyweight top 5 right now. Alexander Volkov, for as good as his little streak's been, a lot of people, myself included, think he already beat Cyril Gane in their last fight in December. And he's on this 5-fight winning streak. Before that, now he's back on track with another top 5 win. But again, not a very impressive win today, He kind of just did the bare minimum to get the win, got the damage off, It felt like more of a loss for Jailton than a win for Volkov. But that's not really why, I'm determining anything right now, Volkov got the win, credit to him. But the thing is, he already lost twice to Cyril, and he lost to Tom Aspinall. So, he will be probably getting the title shot after the winner of Cyril and Tom Aspinall is done, unless barring potential John Jones returns. But despite, a close fight with Cyril in December, it's not really of interest to see him back in the title picture. I do want to see it because it's what he deserves, and I'd rather rightful contenders get in over it, even if the fights are less interesting. And then another couple heavyweight fights happened on. We had Voltaire Walker subbing Louis Sutherland this afternoon with another heel hook. Now, how bad is the heavyweight division that a man can just walk in and sub 4 people with the same submission over and over and over again? How does that keep happening? That is low-level stuff. Heel hook isn't even considered to be that, good of a submission. Obviously, that's why it's so surprising. It's such a rare and rarely used submission that we just see. I mean, that's the submission that freaking Cyril Gane was pulling in his UFC debut, and I think a fight after that. He's pulled it twice in the UFC after. So if that just doesn't tell you how low-level submission it is, there you go. That's that. Okay, so that out the way. Good for Voltaire. He's probably going to get one in the top 15, and it's going to really say something if he starts heel hooking those guys too. And then, of course, we have the best heavyweight fight on the card, bar none. Hamdi versus Chris Barnett. Now, as much as, Chris Barnett's a meme, it seems like a great guy. He's gone through some hardship, and he's shown a lot of heart in the UFC, and he has even a couple of highlights. He was awful today. Hamdi was awful too, but he should have finished that fight multiple times. Chris Barnett looked awful. Always on the back foot, easy to take down. The only thing everyone was looking for was him to do a heel kick, and even when he tried it, it was about 10 feet off. So it was just a sad fight to watch, and Hamdi got an easy win. And it just showed, like I was saying about the Voltaire Walker fight, it just showed how low level these unranked heavyweights are, and how there are very little prospects to get excited about. Like, even if Cyril and Tom have this crazy, amazing trilogy off of the back of this real stinker, not snoozer, it was a good fight, Tom versus Cyril. It was a pretty good fight for what, all 4 minutes of it. But even, I'm going to call it a stinker because it's unfortunate, This is a pay-per-view main event that ends with an eye poke, It's unfortunate. But there's just no one exciting to really grab onto except for Tom Aspinall. And they won't even give us the fight that we wanted to see for so long now. Only thing that can make this division exciting is if Tom comes back. I mean, if John Jones comes back, which is sad because I don't want to see John Jones, honestly. I really don't. I don't like the guy. I don't like his attitude. I don't like seeing him fights. I'm glad he retired. But now this is just giving him even more ammo. Tom didn't look too great against a guy that John Jones dominated, He subbed him in the first round, as sad as it was to see. So I don't know, man. The state of the heavyweight division is awful right now. Tell me your thoughts on it, guys. This is just a quick, I guess this is just a rant or something. I don't know what this was. But I hope it improves soon. I hope Aspinall versus Gane can live up to the hype. I hope Cyril can keep his fingers closed next time. And I hope Tom's eyesight is okay. Alright. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.